see what happens in the playoffs.
Game 1 of the series will be played Saturday night at 7 at Amway Center. Game 2 will be played Tuesday night. 6'10" All-American center Mike Chandler signed with UCF on National Signing Day. Chandler's the highest-ranked player ever to sign with the Knights. Freddie Freeman doubled with 1 out in the 8th inning to break up Josh Johnson's no-hit bid. He still got the win. The Marlins 5, the Braves 1. The Rays and Red Sox were rained out. A jury's convicted Barry Bonds of 1 count of obstruction of justice, but failed to reach a unanimous verdict on 3 counts that he lied to a grand jury when he denied knowingly using steroids and human growth hormone. That's your sports update. I'm Tom Morgan on your home of the Gators, 540 WFLA.
BHL. Wake up and stand up for what's right. 540 WFLA presents the 50,000-watt front porch. And another hour of Bud Hediger Live.
Great to have you with us here where God and country are honored and old-fashioned American values never go out of style. And we hit the hottest topics in talk radio for your consideration. My take and your calls. Local, national, you name it. And there is no bigger story than President Obama's campaign speech yesterday that we all thought would be a serious policy speech in response to the Paul Ryan budget proposal. The president was coming out with his formula for reducing the deficits and the debts that are killing this country. You've heard the Budman on this. You will hear more. You will hear from Paul Ryan. But right now, let's get some perspective and some analysis from Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern in Washington, where the speech was delivered. Thanks for joining us, Jared. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
So what about it? From your perspective and all you're hearing in reaction, how did the president's speech play?
Well, I think it played to who he needed it to play to, which is largely a Democratic audience who were anxious to hear a rebuttal to Paul Ryan's 2012 budget address. And certainly from that perspective, I think the president did in many ways what he needed to do in trying to put another alternative out there, something else that wasn't the Paul Ryan plan, and set up some sort of conversation or debate. And it's probably not going to be a real polite one moving forward. But certainly that's I think first and foremost what the president wanted to do, and I think in large part it's what he probably did.
Well, it's interesting. As I say, it felt to me as though he kicked off the 2012 re-election bid officially yesterday with that speech, because it was 47 minutes long. Jared, I had a clock on it. First 24 minutes, he was doing nothing but bashing the Republicans' approach and talking about how mean-spirited they were, and he wasn't going to allow Medicare to be changed and gutted on his watch, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Really drawing the political lines in the sand. That's how it felt on my end of the TV yesterday.
Well, and I think, whether or not it was a campaign speech or not, certainly you're going to hear a lot of these themes in the campaign, because I think the number one issue probably moving forward in the campaign will be the economy and how do we reduce the debt. And Republicans came out with a plan that they say cuts trillions of dollars, and the president has come out with a plan that he says cuts trillions of dollars, and they do it in very two different ways. And that's really going to be moving forward, what people in Congress and voters ultimately are going to have to decide is which approach do they want to see to try and cut trillions of dollars over the next decade to 12 years. And what's interesting to me is today we're having this vote on Capitol Hill about the 2011 fiscal year budget. We're having it 6 months into the fiscal year over a plan that cuts about $38 to $40 billion. And it took months and months and months to negotiate to get to this point to cut $40 billion. And now we're talking about plans that set fiscal discipline and fiscal strategy for the next decade or more. And we're talking about trillions of dollars at stake. And, you think to the debates that we just had over this current spending bill and what lies ahead, I don't think we've seen anything yet.
I can't even imagine what it's going to be like. But also, we talked about it earlier here, the Congressional Budget Office reports that it really isn't $39 billion that were cut.
No, it's
accounting tricks and all of this, and when all is said and done, you're talking about $352 million. That's what the Congressional Budget Office says. This is the great deception across party lines that has my hair on fire this morning.
Well, and the 352 is what comes off the deficit. So, I mean, the Budget Office will admit that, yeah, there are spending cuts that total $40 billion. but they don't really reduce the deficit because along with those spending cuts are spending increases for military spending, and a lot of the money that they're cutting wasn't money that was going to be spent anyways. So, yeah, from the actual deficit that is getting all of this attention, it's only $352 million, according to the Congressional Budget Office.
We're going to be continuing to talk all about that and more related matters here. I want to thank you from Washington, Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern, close to the action off the Obama speech in this budget vote coming up today. Thanks for joining us on Bud Hettinger Live. Have a great rest of the day.
You too. Enjoy.
All right. Coming up on 6, make that 7:10 here on 540 WFLA and BHL. I have to tell you, and I said it in the 6 o'clock hour here, you need to watch who votes to seal the deal on the $39 billion, quote-unquote, in cuts to avert the government shutdown last Friday night. This is what they're voting to do, okay? But the Congressional Budget Office, that doesn't have a political dog in the hunt here, you know, they just give you the numbers. They say, well, no, not really. Ultimately, we're not cutting the deficit by $39 billion. We're cutting it by $352 million, a little more than a third of $1 billion. This is what we're getting. This is this kind of representation. Anybody in the Tea Party movement that votes for this ought to have a huge price to pay. This is not what we sent them to Washington for. They ought to take a look at this and say, whoa, wait just a minute. I might have been able to swallow getting this little deal done for 2011 at $39 billion. But now that I learned from the Congressional Budget Office about this is just accounting tricks and deception, that we're really only reducing the deficit by $352 million, you do not have my vote. That's what we should demand. And when you realize that cruel deception that has been visited upon us across party lines, and don't tell me they all didn't really know that this was the reality. They deal with this stuff all the time. It screams for you to be on the shores of Lake Eola at the amphitheater tomorrow afternoon with the Budman as I MC the 3rd annual Tax Day Tea Party in downtown Orlando. You need to be with us. Full details on the Bud page of 540WFLA.com. Marco Rubio, our special guest speaker. Our keynoter is Herman Cain. I love the voice of Herman Cain. And he'll be on this show at 8:30 today with a preview of his speech. Other great speakers as well. But this whole Tea Party movement cannot move forward effectively and save this country unless you are there tomorrow in huge numbers, thousands. Let's flood the lake and surrounding areas. We got a great program and great speakers, and I am privileged to be the MC, and the person I want most to see is you. Tomorrow, Lake Eola, 4 to 6. Now at 7:12, real-time traffic and weather together on the 2s.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, eastbound I-4 is picking up that busy volume now from Cayley Avenue as you work your way through the downtown area. Also a bit heavy westbound I-4 between 436 and Maitland Boulevard. No problems in either direction of the 408, just getting a bit busy as you make your way towards I-4. Still in good shape along the Turnpike, and we're clear along the Greenway. The earlier crash westbound along 528 at Orangewood Boulevard has now been cleared out of your way as well. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
From 540 WFLA, Orlando's 24-hour weather channel, high pressure holds on and the high heat will stick around today. We'll see a mix of clouds and sunshine. The temperature will soar to the upper 80s. Late day thunderstorms on Friday. Weather updated around the clock on 540 WFLA. I'm David Maddox at the Weather Channel.
I'm Daryl Moody. Coming up at 7:30, a Lakeland toddler was recently served sangria at a local Olive Garden. State officials say they're still not sure whether Florida will join a federal lawsuit against the owner of the Deepwater Horizon oil rig, and Tallahassee lawmakers square off on the budget. Details in 15 minutes.
You know, spring's a beautiful time of the year, the most beautiful time of the year in Central Florida, but it's never more beautiful and magnificent than it is out at Lucas Nursery, the one and only. Lots of places to buy flowers, but only one Lucas Nursery. Acre after acre of everything that grows so incredibly. A friendly, knowledgeable staff. Same family's been working the same plot of land for the better part of 100 years. It is a Central Florida tradition and a Central Florida attraction. Every garden accessory you can imagine at Lucas Nursery, the biggest collection of garden pottery you'll find in this part of the country, and the unique and incredible indoor butterfly encounter. Take it all in, worth the drive from anywhere. Lucas Nursery off the 417 Redbug exit, corner of Slavia and Aloma. Online, it's LUKASnursery.com.
Traffic on Air Online, a service of Serrata Beach Resort and Conference Center. Hey, Orlando residents, enjoy a slice of paradise about 2 hours away and with zero hassles. Serrata Beach Resort on St. Pete Beach has sugary beaches, Hollywood perfect sunsets, and more. Visit Serrata.com for details. Serrata, imagine it's all here.
Dave Ramsey here. If you're looking for an awesome real estate agent to buy or sell a home, my team and I can help. To find the real estate agent I recommend in your city, go to DaveRamsey.com and click Endorsed Local Provider. That's DaveRamsey.com and click Endorsed Local Provider.
Mortgage rates are as low as 3%, 3.2% APR. Go to LendingTree.com today, where refinance customers save an average of $293 a month or more. Click or call 1-800-555-TREE to find out how much you can save today. That's 1-800-555-TREE.
This just in from the lawn desk. We have good news. Yes, there is such a thing. But first, let me hear an oh yeah. Good. You can have a green summer lawn without the risk of burning. But iron alone is not enough. For a truly deep green, your southern lawn needs something that delivers fertilizer and iron. It needs Scott's Green Max. Green Max gives your lawn everything it needs to grow thick and green. First, it gives your lawn triple the iron of regular fertilizers for a quick, extreme green. Then Green Max finishes the job, giving your lawn 10 times the feeding power of Ironite mineral supplement with slow-release nitrogen, so it's guaranteed not to burn. And while Ironite contains filler like limestone and gravel, Green Max has no filler. Every single granule is 100% food with the lawn greening power of iron. So pick up Scott's Green Max today and get the green, the whole green, and nothing but the green. Oh yeah. That concludes this alert from the lawn desk.
You get up early. You work late. Weekends off? Not likely. Why? Because as a small business owner, it's more than your job. It's what you love. And you need technology that keeps pace with your passion. That's why Verizon delivers all the wireless solutions you need to make sure your business rules. Verizon technology gives you the power to enable growth and boost productivity. Because only Verizon offers an arsenal of advanced devices, powerful business apps, and mobile security safeguards, all backed by unrivaled customer support and the fastest, most advanced 4G network in America. More small businesses choose Verizon Wireless than any other wireless carrier because they know the small business with the best technology rules. Now get the lightning fast Thunderbolt by HTC for only $249.99. No rebate required, exclusively at Verizon. Visit any Verizon store, verizonwireless.com/smallbusiness, or call 1-800-BZW-4BIZ. Requires new tier activation and data pack. Early termination and other fees apply. Preference results based on third-party study.
At KEL, our philosophy is simple. Everyone has a legal question, but not everyone needs to hire an attorney. Sometimes you just need an answer. I'm attorney Matt Inglett with KEL. My firm has attorneys devoted solely to taking your phone call free of charge. If you're struggling to make your mortgage payment, behind on your mortgage, or you're already in foreclosure, pick up the phone and call. Our attorneys are standing by, ready to take your phone call. Call 800-NEW-LAWS or visit lawyerasap.com. KEL. You have questions, we have answers. Kaufman, Inglett, and Lind, Office Orlando.
You know, you worked hard all your life to save and accumulate your money for retirement, and you know what you want your retirement to be. Well, I think you may need some help to get there because it gets complicated with tax, Social Security, estate planning, and investment issues, to name just a few. And that's where my friends Jack Nelson and Joel Garris of Nelson Investment Planning Services come in. They've helped people secure their their futures here and enjoy the kind of retirement they always dreamed of by the thousands for more than 25 years. I believe they can help you, and you'll get some peace of mind. You're going to get expertise. You're going to get integrity behind you. These guys will listen to you, get to know you. Jack and Joel will never do anything with your money they have not already done with their own money. So, believe me, you can be assured of that. They're as good as it gets and as honest as the day is long. It's your retirement. Learn how to get income from your money in retirement. Schedule a free 2-hour consultation at Nelson Investment Planning Services. Book it now at 407-629-6477, 407-629-NIPS.
Your order of scrambled eggs, toast, and bud is ready. Back to the 50,000-watt front porch on 540 WFLA.
Listen, gang, I've been talking on and off since we got on the air at 6 o'clock this morning about Obama's speech yesterday. You know what? I was willing to listen to the president. I thought we were going to get a serious alternative to the Ryan plan, a major policy speech. We got a partisan campaign speech, and I was offended by it. And so was Paul Ryan. He was there. Listen.
What we got was a speech that was excessively partisan, dramatically inaccurate, and hopelessly inadequate to addressing our country's pressing fiscal challenges.
He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. The first half of the speech was nothing but bashing the cold-hearted Republicans for their plan, the Ryan plan primarily. It's unbelievable. He's also talking about he's going to get rid of the Bush-era tax cuts for high-enders. He's going to soak the rich. Of course, most of them at $250,000 or so are small business owners who drive the engine of the economic recovery that is shaky and uneven under the Obama policies right now. You know, what is he trying to do? Crush the economic recovery? The president also said some disturbing things. He criticized the Ryan plan and all the Republican proposed cuts, saying these are the kind of cuts that tell us we can't afford the America that I believe in. We cannot afford the America you believe in. The America you believe in is a socialistic state dominated by oppressive government taxation and regulation. Absolutely true, Mr. President. It's the most true thing you said yesterday. The truest. We can't afford the America you believe in. Absolutely right. He says also that the Ryan plan paints a vision of our future that is deeply pessimistic. No, sir. It is deeply realistic. You have taken this country to the absolute edge of economic oblivion. And all the Republicans and Paul Ryan are trying to do is clean up the mess and save this country for future generations. Yes, we have every reason to be pessimistic on the course you have us on, Mr. President. All the Republicans are doing is being realistic. That said, I'm totally torqued about this $39 billion deal everybody signed off on with the big handshakes and backslaps to avert a government shutdown last Friday night, that now the Congressional Budget Office tells us really only amounts to $350 million in cuts. That's incredible. Your reaction to the president's speech and my take on it and what Paul Ryan had to say and on the reality of that charade that played out last Friday to avert the government shutdown. 407-916-5400. You, with a Budman, on the phones, here as we continue. 60 seconds from now, we'll be talking. It is now 7:22. Real-time traffic and weather together on the twos.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, eastbound I-4 is picking up that busy volume now from Cayley Avenue as you work your way through the downtown area. Also a bit heavy westbound I-4 between 436 and Maitland Boulevard. No problems in either direction of the 408, just getting a bit busy as you make your way towards I-4. Still in good shape along the Turnpike, and we're clear along the Greenway. The earlier crash westbound along 528 at Orangewood Boulevard has now been cleared out of your way as well. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
Sunny and 85 today, low 60s in Central Florida right now. But I tell you, you got to be at the Tea Party tomorrow. I mean, what they did to us last Friday night, and the Congressional Budget Office numbers indicate what a charade this was, what a joke this was. There better not be any Tea Partier who votes for this thing today when it comes up in Congress to seal the deal. They got to say, oh, wait a minute. I voted for $39 billion, not $352 million, thanks very much. We're not going to do this deal until we make actual cuts at the level we were sold. 407-916-5400. By the way, the $39 billion is pathetic, too. Remember, the Republicans started out at $100 billion. Obama started out at 0. We wound up at $39 billion that's really only $352 million? You ought to be going crazy over this. You love this country. 407-916-5400. Joe, you're in Titusville. Welcome from the coast on a beautiful Thursday morning, Joe.
Why, thank you, Bud. And I just may meet you out there this afternoon.
Well, it'll be tomorrow afternoon. You'll be a day early. You'll get a good seat if you show up today. 4 to 6 Friday afternoon on tax day tomorrow down at Lake Eola. I'll be looking for you, Joe.
Okay. I think some of what Obama said needed to be said because I do believe a voucher program for people in their 70s, and I don't care if it starts 10 years from now, 20 years from now.
You're worried about the Medicare deal under Paul Ryan?
Yeah, because there's no way an insurance company is going to make money insuring somebody who's 70 years old. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to insure you. Not for no $6,000.
Now, you understand that in the Ryan plan, nobody gets impacted. Nothing changes for anybody currently 55 or older. Do you understand that? But things have got to change for folks who are younger because we simply can't afford this. I don't know what happened. We lost him there. Let's go to Bob in Orlando weighing in with a Budman. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Okay. How are you?
Good, good. Basically, where we are today is just a joke. As you know, the U.S. is the only country in the world that can print money. Other countries, when they reach their cap, there are two things, either austerity or whether they can go and get a bailout. We are here only asking for 1% for the remaining fiscal year, which is basically nothing. The big deal right now is next week when we start talking about the cap to the $14 trillion. So where we are today with a Ryan plan, I mean, is just basically they are using the scare tactics. And the average Joe in the U.S. is not educated. The Medicare is going bankrupt. Whether to go ahead today and go ahead and make a Medicare healthy one or let it go bankrupt, which option? I am for the Ryan plan. I mean, this empire we call the U.S., if we don't cut the budget and go back to the level of pre-9/11, which is the Clinton era, for 1.8, we are basically screwed. We had a government and we lived better pre-9/11 with a 1.8 trillion budget. We are now almost at $4 trillion.
I understand exactly what you're saying, Bob, but we're not the only country in the world that when it gets in trouble and it spends more than it takes in, prints money at the federal level to make up the difference. You wind up with rampant inflation. You wind up being Greece or one of these third world countries.
Right, but Bob, remember, we haven't seen the inflation yet. Wait, that's coming.
Oh, it's coming. Hit the grocery store and hit the gas pump. Believe me, it's coming, and it is going to explode. The simple economics of it absolutely dictate that that's where we're headed. Thanks, sir. Here is Zach in Orlando. Good morning, Zach.
But I just wanted to go into a term that the president used yesterday that really got me going. He said that when he cuts taxes on the top end, it's a tax expenditure. If you view income by letting us keep that as an expenditure, I mean, that's straight up Karl Marx right there.
It really is. There's no doubt about it. In many, many cases, it was absolutely Marxist doctrine yesterday. I hate to say it, but it's true.
Well, what he said was basically everything is ours, and what we let you keep is an expenditure to us. And I think that people really need to focus on that. And this is where this guy's coming from. That's absolutely straight out of the Communist Manifesto.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Thank you. I appreciate you. Boy, there's so much more to say on this. And we'll continue to talk about it. But you watch today. I don't want any Tea Partiers we sent to Washington to change things voting for that cockamamie deception, the $39 billion cut to avert the government shutdown that really, the Congressional Budget Office numbers say, amounts to just $352 million in cuts. They need to throw the red flag up and say, you're not getting my vote on that. Open this thing back up and let's redo this. And let's have real numbers. Okay? That's what needs to happen. 1 hour from now, Herman Cain, who's our keynote speaker at the Tax Day Tea Party in downtown Orlando tomorrow, will be the Budman's guest here on BHL. Much more to come here, and you don't want to miss it. I'm going to be talking about that toddler who got served some hooch at an Olive Garden in Central Florida. What's that all about? Next on BHL at 6:28. Make that 7:28.
I need mechanics I trust to keep my car up and running, and the Sears Auto Center's got them. They have ASE certified technicians, so my car always gets expert maintenance from mechanics I can count on.
April is National Car Care Month, and we want to make sure you're ready to hit the road this spring. So come in now and save $40 on a spring maintenance package. Plus, through April 30th, get an American Express gift card worth up to $100 by mail with the purchase of 4 Bridgestone tires. Visit SearsAuto.com for more great deals. Sears Auto Center. Exclusions apply. See store for details.
I'm doing better now that I'm talking to you.
Good.
First thing I'd like to say, Mark, is I definitely appreciate your spending your time to be on the air to talk to people like me.
Justice for All with Mark Nation, Saturdays at 1.
Do you need an oil change? Hello, it's Jay Zembauer, the car doctor. We can do that for you and much more. We do everything from oil changes to engine replacements. Call us at 407-831-5620 or ZembauersAutoCenter.com.
I'm so worried about my mom. What am I going to do? I think it's time.
Time for some care?
I don't want to put her in assisted living, as she definitely wants her independence.
Grand Care Florida is helping me make sure my dad is cared for through technology. Grand Care Florida monitors Dad even though he lives out of state. I feel so much better that Grand Care Florida has helped me with my dad.
Wow, Grand Care Florida sounds perfect. How do I find them?
Contact GrandCareFlorida.com or call them 1-888-374-8009. Grand Care Florida, customized senior care for your loved one through technology.
Hey, boss, have you seen that TV commercial with the National Alarm Company? You know, the one where the home gets broken into with the mom and daughter at home?
Oh, yeah, that guy's a creep.
Yeah. Hey, but did you notice that instead of calling the police, the alarm company calls the lady instead?
Oh, yeah. Her and her daughter could have been killed while she was talking to the operator.
Yeah, I know. Now, if they had Safe Touch, the two-way communicator would have let the operator hear what was going on, and they'd have called the police right away.
You know, I was in a fine mood until you mentioned Safe Touch.
Yeah, well, you're not going to like this, boss. The latest edition of the Crooks R Us newsletter said the average response time for Safe Touch monitoring is 14 seconds.
14... Oh, I hate Safe Touch!
That's right, our Safe Touch two-way communicator saves lives and prevents property loss every day. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, owner of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one, and I mean no one, protects your family better than Safe Touch. So call Safe Touch today. Systems and monitoring are still less than $1 a day.
Call 407-331-0335 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Bud Henninger Live continues with news from the Fox Orlando News Center on 540 WFLA.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, eastbound I-4 is building up some slow-moving traffic from John Young Parkway into OBT. And we're also a bit heavy in both directions of I-4 moving through downtown, but still up to speed. Westbound along I-4 is also getting busy between 436 and Maitland Boulevard.
Who got the hooch, baby? Who got the only sweetest thing in the world? Who got the love? Who got the precious, precious?
Serving up hooch at an Olive Garden in Lakeland to a 2-year-old kid. And Applebee's, I don't know, in the upper Midwest, somewhere in Michigan. Kid orders apple juice, gets margarita. Parents up in arms. Restaurants being brought to their knees. You got to help me out with this. Daryl just gave you the story out of the Lakeland Olive Garden about this this situation where this 2-year-old boy, Nikolai, was served sangria instead of orange juice. Apparently it was tropical sangria, which I guess, you would think, well, sangria is red, but tropical sangria, I guess, is orange. Okay? It kind of looks like what are those, a rum runner or a planter's punch or something you might get at a tropical resort. So let's assume that they actually look very similar. This 2-year-old is, according to the Olive Garden, completely accidentally and wrongly served alcohol at age 2. And mom notices a change in behavior. Kid starts acting up and calls him on it at the restaurant. This is Jill Van Heest, who knows something about the restaurant business. Apparently she owns a restaurant with her husband. She has an attorney now, isn't sure whether she's going to sue. The kid goes to the hospital, IV fluids, etc., and the child has no lingering effects here. His eyes were completely dilated and red, she said. Took employees about a half an hour to realize something was wrong. How long did it take mom to realize something was wrong? I've got questions about this for you. And I'm not accusing anybody of anything. But you could see a scenario here in which maybe you have a copycat off the situation up in the Applebee's up north with the margarita that was supposed to be apple juice. With somebody who knows the restaurant business, I don't know, maybe saying, you know what? This is an easy haul here. Restaurants could be really vulnerable in a situation like that. You've got your small child at the restaurant. You order a cocktail. You order juice for the kid. Nobody's looking. Maybe you pour a little bit of your booze in the juice. All of a sudden, the kid starts going wacky, and you got yourself a restaurant chain on its knees doing your bidding. You could sue them. You could just say, well, let's work this out on the side, and I'll tell you what I need to walk away. Now, I'm not saying that that's true here. I don't know that. But the potential for this is there. You know, we saw somebody milk McDonald's for $6 million off hot coffee that they should have known was hot. You remember that story. So I'm always sensitive to situations like this. And I'd like to know what you think. It seems to me that it is a parent's responsibility to be watching their kids and taking note of things. It also seems to me that alcohol would make juice taste differently. That the kid would react and even at age 2, wrinkle up their nose and go, yuck, or stop crying or go, Mommy, when they're knocking down tropical sangria instead of orange juice. And I'm kind of wondering Why that doesn't seem to factor into either one of these stories. Well, Darden is changing its policies. I guess they're not going to make these drinks in pitchers, back in the kitchen. They're going to prepare them right there individually. And same story with Applebee's and the margarita that was supposed to be apple juice. And it's like these restaurants know what kind of jeopardy they could be in here. And I just, Jenna, is this like the McDonald's with a hot coffee? Some old lady had it, holding it between her legs, and it spilled, and she got scalded, and she got $6 million out of McDonald's, and now there's hot all over the McDonald's coffee cups. For goodness sakes, what a total no-brainer, and what an extortion I thought that case was. They extorted money from McDonald's. Is that what's going on here with Darden at the Olive Garden in Lakeland? What went on at the Applebee's up north?
This is a little different. I mean, with McDonald's, you're talking about an adult who was fully capable of judging that coffee was hot. A little baby can't tell you the difference between alcohol and juice.
But can't they react, and wouldn't they react and say, phew, that's not what I'm used to. There's something weird in there. Wouldn't you see that on a 2-year-old's face at least?
I don't know. I mean, I don't have a 2-year-old, so I can't tell you the differences in their faces, but I mean, I think it's a little different. The fact to me that Olive Garden is owning up to it and not disputing it says that obviously there was something that happened there that was wrong. But part of me is like, is this just a copycat from Michigan earlier? I feel like it's too close together, a little too convenient.
I have to admit, I was wondering about that, and believe me, if the family is completely blameless, please understand that I'm not trying to indict them on the radio here, but it's interesting just think about what the potential is to do this to any restaurant you go into. And I have to say the one thing that surprises me in both cases is that the parents didn't seem to have a clue. And it seems to me you should have some kind of an indication. If you give a kid orange juice and then you give a kid orange juice with booze in it, that kid knows what juice is supposed to taste like. They probably have it all the time, and they say, ooh, ugh, what is this? And there doesn't seem to be any of that in the equation with either one of these situations with the restaurants. And it just kind of makes the old Budman, trained skeptic that I am after all these years of doing news and now talk radio, it makes me think maybe there's a little something going on here. And these restaurants are actually defenseless in this situation. They really are. A little bit scary from that standpoint, isn't it? It really, really is. Hey, 407-916-5400 on this. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, maybe it's just as the parents are saying. Just a bad mistake made by a restaurant. But maybe they're setting the restaurants up for a settlement. 407-916-5400. It would be frighteningly easy to do. Toll free, 1-866-916-5400. Oh, something new that you've never seen before. Go check it out on the Bud's blog. You got to scroll down a little bit. Surfer Bud. You are going to see the Budman riding the big breakers at New Smyrna Beach like you have never seen before. Scroll down until you get to Mad Surfer Budman. Right below Joe Biden sleeping through the speech yesterday, the 6-year-old getting the groping pat down, and a video on just how big $1 trillion is. Your calls as we roll on. Good morning at 7:42. Real-time traffic and weather together on the twos now.
Blame it on the guru, got you feeling loose. Blame it on the tone, got you feeling gold. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the
Boy, I got to tell you, I'm so excited about this incredible black beauty I'm driving now, the top-of-the-line sedan from Acura and my friends at Fountain Acura, the amazing RL. If you're thinking about a luxury vehicle and you've never considered Acura for your business, you are missing the boat. And if you've never been to Fountain Acura, you're missing an opportunity to deal with folks who are a genuine breath of fresh air in the car business. And now at Fountain Acura, on the fabulous RL I'm driving and on the MDX SUV I have driven, incredible financing rates at Fountain as low as 0.9% right now for well-qualified buyers like you. Now, I'm preaching to the choir if you drive in an Acura, but at Fountain Acura, if you're an Acura driver, you can upgrade right now to a similar 2011 brand new Acura model with no money down and a similar monthly payment. You've got to check this out. What an opportunity from the one and only Fountain Acura, South OBT, just south of the Florida Mall. Online, fountainacura.com. Hey, do I have a terrific idea for you? How about lunch or dinner today at Houlihan's? This great Orlando tradition. Lynn and I just love it. At Houlihan's, it's where filet mignon meets truck stop fries. I'm talking about the most diverse menu you've ever seen. The food is fabulous, and they make it all from scratch at Houlihan's. So rare in any restaurant these days. And it's, every price range as well, including the new menu of 30 small plates from just $3 a pop. Flatbread, sliders, kebabs, just incredible. And the best happy hour around, always 2 for 1 all the time at Houlihan's. Houlihan's, you're going to love it. 4 locations, 192 in Kissimmee, University Boulevard near UCF, on East Colonial and on I-Drive, and online, Houlihan's.com. Lunch or dinner at my favorite restaurant today. How about it? Houlihan's.
more, we are being warned of imminent financial doom unless Republicans shut up about enacting real spending cuts as a condition of passing a debt ceiling increase. Now, who on earth gave Wall Street veto power over fiscal policy to make Congress? Lest we forget, many Wall Street tycoons are huge Obama and Democrat Party donors. These are the same people who made billions buying and selling loans that could never be repaid, and immigrated billions, trillions of taxpayer dollars to stay afloat, by taxpayers still suffering from the Wall Street-linked economic collapse. Now, I and Rushmore smell a rat, or more precisely, I smell a Democ rat, and it smells foul from the head down. Find out what's really going on. For real employment. I work in the IT department of my company. Early into the job, I learned that we were using unauthorized business software. I told my manager about it, but he chose to ignore it. It really bugged me that we were pirating software. I knew it was wrong and illegal, so I reported it confidentially to the Business Software Alliance at nopiracy.org. Report business software piracy confidentially today at nopiracy.org. Call 1-888-NO-PIRACY or search BSA. You could even get a cash reward.
Some of the best times you'll never remember with me. Alcohol.
One of Darden Restaurant's fine Olive Gardens in Lakeland in trouble now. A 2-year-old got served sangria instead of juice. We're talking about it. Here's Tom in Orlando. Good morning, Tom.
How you doing, bud?
All right, and you?
Pretty good.
What do you think on this?
Well, as it pertains to when somebody brings something to the table for your child, you should try it. All my children are grown now, but I mean, when I take my grandson out, I'll try, the juice or milk or whatever to make sure the milk is not bad. But the restaurants can protect themselves if they just when the chef comes out and he tries your food before he sends it to your table, they can go ahead and if they're pouring a child's drink, they can go ahead and pour themselves a little bit of it to make sure it's not alcohol. Or when they go to the table, they can go ahead and hand the cup to the parent so the parent can try it. This is a safety measure. But, yeah, I think this is just piling on, just like I think your opinion of it.
You think they're trying to? Do you think that the family is trying to extort money from Darden?
I can't say that.
I don't know either, and I'm not suggesting they are, but it's one option here.
But, I think if it's this easy to do, you'll see people abusing it.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it, Tom. I can tell you that in response to this, Darden has decided that the stuff they made in pitchers in the back, in big batches, they're now going to make individually. Okay? And that's going to be their answer. Okay? So we continue. Oh, have I got a Budman's Brainbuster question for you, and we've got prizes up for grabs. I love this question. I worked hard on this one. I'm going to see if anybody can get the answer. Let's see what the smartest audience in talk radio does with it. Get on the line. We're playing in 1 minute. 407-916-5400. Toll free 1-866-916-5400. It's the Brainbuster. Next, here on the 50,000-watt front porch, after our update on the twos of real-time traffic and weather together at 7:52. All right, we're looking at sunny mid to upper 80s, now low 60s in central Florida. One line open, 1-866-916-5400. What are we playing for in the Brainbuster, Jen?
Today we have a pair of tickets to the Orlando Philharmonic Orchestra. It's Paul McCartney, a symphonic tribute, Saturday, April 23rd. You can also win online at 540WFLA.com.
Here's the question for you right now. Two of the worst tragedies in American history happened on this date, April 14th. President Lincoln was shot and died the next morning. The Titanic struck an iceberg and sank the next morning. The Budman's Brainbuster question: how many years apart were these two tragic events? How many years between the Lincoln assassination and the sinking of the Titanic? That's the question. Line 1, good morning. You're first up on the Brainbuster.
60 years.
No. Was that 6 or 60? What did I hear? It's wrong in either case.
Doesn't matter.
All right, let's go to line 2 on the Brainbuster. How many years apart?
47.
On the nose.
Yeah, the 1865 and 1912.
Wow. You know your history and you know your math, and you had to know both to get them right. I didn't think it would take too long, but I was kind of hoping it would take a little longer. Actually, though, no, I'm happy for you. What's your name and where are you calling me from?
My name's Tim, and I'm calling from Castleberry.
Well, that's fantastic. You're absolutely right. The night of April 14th, 1865, John Wilkes Booth put the bullet in Abe Lincoln's head. He died the next day. Titanic hit the iceberg on this date in the North Atlantic, April 14th, 1912. My friend, you are deserving of the prize. You want to hang on the line and talk with Jeff here for a moment and make sure we get that prize where it needs to go?
Sure will. Thank you very much.
Fantastic, my friend, and congratulations.
Another happy contest winner on WFLA.
You know, we're looking at what's going on up in Tallahassee with the budget, and I just want to comment on something. One of these little things that kind of gets lost in all of what they're doing and the big cuts, et cetera. You know, they've already got the budget figured out there, but there's all kinds of other legislation that they are working their way through in the session here. And the headline in the Sentinel is legislature would cut or eliminate library funding, that public library funding may get shelved under budget proposals being considered by the legislature, leading to reduced hours and shuttering of some library branches across the state. Mike Herodopoulos, the Republican Senate president and candidate for U.S. Senate, says there's nothing we can do. We had to make the cuts. Cuts had to be made. And it's just a matter of priorities. Times are tough, and listen, I support making the tough calls. This cannot be business as usual. But when I said, gee whiz, they're pulling the plug on libraries, it just seemed sad. It seemed like there was something fundamentally wrong with that, something fundamentally un-American. And then I looked into the information that was available here. Let's take the Orange County Library System, for example, okay? $31 million library budget here. And the amount of state funding in that is $817,000. Under the Senate plan, it would be eliminated. Under the House plan, it would be reduced. This all has to be reconciled. But look at that percentage-wise. What's that, 3% or something? We got to be ready with anything that is out there to cut 3%, to cut 5%, to cut 10%. You know, and there can't be any sacred cows, including libraries. Libraries can still stay open. You know, the issue with libraries is, I mean, where else is somebody who's too poor to own a computer to go to educate themselves, to apply for a job because there was computer access there? We need the libraries for so many things, even though I don't think people use libraries in the numbers they once did. But when you first look at this and the way the Sentinel presents the story, it's the cruel, heartless, conservative Republicans running the legislature, and they want to shutter libraries and they just don't care. No. They just want to pull the plug or reduce the funding from the state level. And it seems to me, based on the numbers I see for Orange County and other counties as well, as though that's generally a very small percentage. Tighten up the operation. There's waste in everything. There's no excuse for any library, in my view, based on what I know, to be shut down by this cutback at the state level. So when you really look behind the numbers, you know, that's why I'm here, to do it for you and with you. Much more coming up here on BHL. Good morning. 1 hour to go. Herman Cain live in the next hour, 7:58.
say the new governor has done the exact opposite by trying to lay off thousands of state employees, reduce benefits for unemployed workers, and cutting billions of dollars in education and health care spending. In Washington, Florida Democratic Senator Bill Nelson has introduced a resolution calling on his Senate colleagues to oppose the Republican budget that would dramatically reform Medicare. Another proposal, Medicare is a voucher paid for by the federal government would be given not to the senior citizen to go shopping. It would be given to the insurance company that they chose. Nelson says the plan would end Medicare as we know it. Republicans say entitlement reform is necessary to avert the coming debt crisis. Sponsors of the measure say anyone nearing retirement or in retirement will be exempted from the reform. 540 WFLA News Time now 8:02. I'm Daryl Moody. Get these stories and more at 540WFLA.com. Sports is coming up. From the Davenport Volkswagen Road Traffic Center, busy morning volume eastbound along I-40 or slow from John and Parkway into OBT. Also very slow from Candy Avenue into Colonial Drive. Expect to burn about 5 extra minutes through this area. Westbound I-4 with pockets of very slow traffic between 434 and Mason Boulevard. Westbound along 408 is jammed up between P Road into the Freeway and remaining slow into Boulevard. 529 and the Turnpike both checked and clear. From the traffic center, I'm Corey Wright. Traffic on air online. The service is Apex Pest Control. So a cheeseburger, weed, and a fire ant walked into a yard.
They all die. Thanks to Apex Pest Control. Keep your lawn healthy. Call Apex and get $50 off annual lawn service. Expires April 24th. Restrictions apply. Visit apexpest.com.
Brakes, squeaking, or grinding? ZembauersAutoCenter.com.
From 540 WFLA Orlando's 24-hour weather channel, high pressure holds on and the high heat will stick around today. We'll see a mix of clouds and sunshine. The temperature will soar to the upper 80s. Late day thunderstorms on Friday. Weather updated around the clock on 540 WFLA. I'm David Maddox at the Weather Channel.
Score with 540 WFLA Sports.
It was Fan Appreciation Night at Amway Center last night. At Magic Center, Dwight Howard gave the fans props for selling out all 41 home games this season.
We appreciate all the fans who continue to support us throughout all the ups and downs and trades and guys being injured, people being sick. We appreciate all the fans who support us.
Howard had 13 points and 13 rebounds for a 66th double-double of the season as the Magic beat Indiana 92-74 in the regular season finale. Next up for the Magic, 2 straight home games in the first-round playoff series with the Atlanta Hawks. Game 1 is Saturday night at 7. Game 2 will be played Tuesday night at 7:30. UCF has landed its highest-ranked basketball player in school history, signing 6'10" center Michael Chandler out of Indianapolis to a national letter of intent. He was the 4th-rated center in the country. He signed with the Knights after previously committing to both Xavier and Louisville. Josh Johnson of the Marlins flirted with a no-hitter last night.
Off the fist, base hit. There goes the no-hitter, and Freddie is going for 2.
Freddie Freeman with a double in the 8th inning broke up Josh Johnson's no-hit bid, but he got the win. The Marlins beat the Braves 5-1. That's your sports update. I'm Tom Morgan on your home of the Gators, 540 WFLA.
Thanks for being the smartest audience in talk radio.
Man, I'm tired of being right.
BHL returns now on 540 WFLA.
Thursday at 8, it's a tradition here on the 50,000-watt front porch.